Good evening, World News, and welcome to the evening special.
Tonight we'll be talking about our top story of the night.
Drafting.
Yes, Tori, drafting.
What is drafting, Anthony?
Well, Tori, it's when young men from ages 18 to 26 years old become sent to war.
I see. And how are these young men taking this whole drafting situation?
Let's find out, Caitlin.
Good evening, Tori and Anthony. Tonight I am here talking to a young man named Phil who has been drafted into the war. Phil, what are your thoughts on being drafted?
Hey, as long as they got McDonald's, it's all good.
Excuse me?
Nah, I'm just playing. I truly am excited to be serving our country. I'm very pumped that I was chosen to be a soldier.
Well, there you have it. One soldier excited to go into war. I guarantee that there will be many happy soldiers to come. Back to you, Tori and Anthony.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Recently, we have found that women are volunteering to nurse the injured soldiers in the war.
Let's switch over to Stacy, a nurse at war helping an injured soldier.
Young lady, how do you feel this war? I am very against this war because we shouldn't even be in this war because it's a civil war in Vietnam and has nothing to do with the United States. Thank you very much. Now back to Tori and Anthony.
Something very similar to the college students protesting are there two groups with very unique names, Doves and Hawks.
What are doves and hawks?
Well, Tori, Doves are people who are strong against the war and think that we should withdraw from the war, and the Hawks...
Oh, so hawks are for the war and think that we should stay in the war?
Correct.
Ah, makes sense because doves are gentle birds while hawks are on the meaner side.
Yes. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a good night.
There is violence breaking out in the U.S. Protesters are causing mayhem by smashing buildings and starting riots.
Violence, I'll have to arrest you.
Sending our troops into Vietnam is pointless! No war!
Oh no, just in South Vietnam has been attacked in Thit Bui, North Vietnam. Communist forces attack over 100 towns and cities throughout the South Vietnam.
Happy Tet! Yay!
Keep walking.
The Americans and South Vietnam were caught off guard, but the American forces won. We have Caitlin interviewing citizens, and now they feel about us winning Tet Offense.
Thanks, Phil. So here we have Miriam. Miriam, how happy are you when we found out we won the Battle of Tet?
I was confused. Thought the war was over.
Anyway, back to you, Phil.
Democratic National Convention is going on now. Things inside the convention are going well for Democratic candidate Herbert Humphrey.
I hate this war!
Oh no, this event doesn't look good for the reputation of the Democratic Party.
My eyes!
I don't care if you scream me, I'm fighting for what I believe in.
Let's just get out of here.
No, I'm fighting until the end.
On the other note, although Richard M. Nixon lost the race against Kennedy, he now gained something that is an accomplishment now for him.
Reporter Luke will go live with our newly elected president, Richard Nixon. This is the first time Nixon will talk about his reasoning on withdrawing troops from Vietnam. Okay, here we go live with Luke and Richard Nixon.
Mr. President, how are you? Good, thank you. So we understand that you announced that you withdrew the troops from Vietnam. Yes, we're beginning to slowly pull troops out. It's a nightmare in Vietnam. The conditions are terrible for the soldiers, and it's not even fighting for our country. It's really since the Civil War in Vietnam. I see. And you were also met with Henry Kissinger to plan an end to America's involvement in the war. How did that work out? It went well. We created a plan known as Vietnamization, where we are going to gradually withdraw troops from South Vietnamese troops to take on a bigger, more active part in the war. Sounds like a great plan to start bringing our troops back home safely. Thank you, Mr. President. All right, back to you, Sabrina.
I'm back here now with Miriam, who has some breaking news for us tonight.
Yes, breaking news on what is known as the My Way massacre. Now, this happened on March 15th, and we're just hearing about it now. U.S. troops under the command of Lieutenant William Carey Jr. massacred in the small village of My Way in South Vietnam.
Cali was said to be searching for Viet Cong rebels, but then there were troops which rounded up over 200 innocent people from the village and shot them.
The troops said that they were just following orders. One soldier said that Cali told them to kill anything that...
And out of all of the troops, Cali was the only one that was convicted and sent to prison.
Wow, what a tragedy. And speaking of tragedy, there has been some tragic violence at the campus of Kent State University.
Hi, I am at Kent State University right now, where a massive amount of students were protesting. The local mayor called in the National Guard, who fired into the crowd of protesters, killing 4 and wounded 9. 2 of the people that were killed were not even in the protest. Many Americans supported the National Guard in this situation because they say that by protesting they were asking for it. This just goes to show how Americans are still divided about the war.
Good evening, America. Tonight I'm here with Stacey, and it seems that we have good fulfilling news for everyone.
Yesterday, on March 9th, the last U.S. ship returned home, and America was finally not in the Vietnam War.
Finally, now this all started with the North Vietnamese troops in South Vietnam when they rejected the plan Kissinger came up with. And then a few days later, the president released a bombing campaign against the 2 biggest cities in Vietnam on December 16th.
For 11 days straight, the U.S. dropped 100,000 bombs except for Christmas.
And after people wanted to end this war on January 27th, the U.S. signed an agreement on ending the war and restoring peace in Vietnam. Under the agreement, North Vietnamese troops would stay in the South, but Nixon said he would go with full force if the peace agreement wasn't followed.
It's good this war is over for America, but this war was a hard one. We're going back to live with reporter Luke to talk with Matt.
Here with Matt to talk about the legacy of the war. The war is still a topic many Americans have controversy over. Yeah, the Hawks still think that the war could have been won if we just put more military power into it. They think that, but it was really a terrible war to be involved in. The conditions over there were horrifying. Also, I was drafted into this war right out of high school. The war put a pause on my life when it really didn't have anything to do with our own country. Now, as a result of the war, the government abolished the draft. Another thing, the war brought upon a significant change in Americans' views on getting involved in foreign affairs. Yeah, and the last thing that was an aspect of the war is the Foreign Powers Act. Now, a president must inform Congress within 48 hours of sending troops into a hostile area without declaring war, and they can't stay there longer for 90 days unless it's approved by Congress before war is declared. That's a good act, and I hope no war like this ever happens again. This is so terrible. Most war veterans can't even speak of it. I know. Well, thank you very much, Matt. Thank you for hearing. So, now back to our discussion. Someone give me a script.
Okay, the war is finally over, but it caused a huge impact on Americans' views on government and their leaders.
That concludes our coverage on America's involvement in the Vietnam War.
Thank you for following us, and we'll see you next time. I'm just making sure that this is recording good. Okay, it records.
The man is bringing us down.
Hey, say hello to my little friend.
Ah, leave me alone. Okay, we're done.
Hi, I'm at Kent State University right now, where a massive...
And the Hawks...
Oh, so Hawks are for the war and think that we should stay in the war.
Correct, Stacey.
Stacey, research.
Oh, so Hawks are for the war and think that we should stay in the war?
You want me to go there first?
Correct.
Oh, man. What's the matter?
We're doing a film.
What are you all doing?
We're doing a film as we're filming you dig that toy. Doves and Hawks.
What are doves and hawks?
Well, Tori, doves and hawks are...
Come on! Are you serious?
Sign, there are...
We don't...
What are you doing?